Hi everyone, this is Nick, and I'm going to review the show anime series Devil's a Part-Timer, which started in, I think it was 2011. Let me just double check here. It was a while ago. They had a kind of a long break in between. Let's see. It says on here. Oh, original run. It started ran originally from April 4th, 2013 till June 27th, 2013. And then they brought another season in, which is the current season right now, which is July 14th, 2022 till present. And right now they have, looks like it's supposed to run for 20 episodes. So I'll read the premise, and that is the story is about Satan seeking to conquer the world of Ente Iswa, but when confronted by the hero Amelia, he is forced to retreat through a gate that transports him to modern day Tokyo, Japan, and that's about where it starts. So anyway, I think it's a pretty good show. It has action and stuff. It's a little bit more like a sitcom in anime form. It has kind of like a sitcom type of situation. All these characters they get. A lot of the humor comes from the predicaments they get into. Like one example is they all in the first season they all go to a water park and two of the characters, Amelia and also Chiho, they go to get changed in the locker room, and Chiho is what you call well endowed. She has the big boobs, and she's blessed in that way. And then you have Amelia, who's got a little shortchanged, and she tends to be self-conscious about that. I mean, she acts like she isn't, but anyway, there's a really hilarious gag about it. Chiyo's running up, and both me running. She runs up to talk to Amelia, and she says, "Let's go, girls!" and her boobs are bouncing, and there's a cuts to Satan is called Sadao Mao, and he's working at the McDonald's here. This is a fictitious version of McDonald's. And it cuts to him. He's basically saying these. I don't really call them exactly. These big burgers are ready, and they coincide with Chiyo's big jugs, and then Amelia feels a little self-conscious. Hers are small, and then it cuts back to Sadao saying basically these small burgers are I don't remember what they call them. Anyway, it was pretty good visual comedy. I mean, that's one type of situation, and then they have catchphrases throughout the show. Like there's another character named Marushi and he's kind of a reclusive type of character. He has purple hair. His real name is Lucifer. They call him. They have these different names they go by and the aliases they go by in the human world. And there was one episode where Sadao was depressed about something, and Urushihara says, "Emo time." He says it in this kind of deadpan voice. It's funny. That's one type of catchphrase. It has a type of recurring gags throughout it. And so anyway, the animation, the first season has a different animation style. It came out in 2013, so it's a little older. I think I kind of like the original one better. I mean, the new one's fine, but I don't know, they look younger for some reason. It's a little weird that despite all the stuff happening around the same time, because of the big gap in production, they recently released another season, and now they look younger. I don't know about entirely younger. They look somewhat younger than they did before. And it's a little weird. And then, also because of the big gap, they have before it came out in 2013, where people still didn't really have smartphones back then. And then they, come out with season 2022, and inexplicably, they have smartphones all of a sudden. And that's a little weird, but I guess it happens. I mean, it had a big gap between it. I'm kind of glad it came out with a new season, because originally, I think I saw it years ago, season 1. It was disappointing. I'll just say, I'm not going to spoil why, but it left off in kind of a the episode that was basically just kind of like them picking up some furniture or something, and it just ends. No, actually, I think it was Rushi Hara got suckered into buying this useless crap, under the impression that, he's talking to buying it was supposedly useful, like all these fire extinguishers, and it was just a big scam he fell for. And anyway, the episode ended, I guess it's not a big spoiler, it ended with them sending all the stuff back, and I just thought, that's it? That's basically how I felt back then. It was just a really lame ending of the season, but I'm glad it came back, because it certainly felt like that couldn't have been it. I mean, that was just kind of, just kind of a situation that wasn't a very good way to end the series on. Anyway, I'm glad they came back more seasons, because they've had some more interesting situations pop up, especially with people from NT Iswa popping in. More so now than season 1. And characters, I think, are pretty fun on the show. You have Seiden, who goes by Sadao, and over time he's kind of become soft in the living on Earth. I mean, initially he was more fearsome and all, and then he just gradually softens up. Same with the rest of them. And then you have Shiho, and she's kind of the Wally type character, and she's kind of funny. She has a big thing for Mal. I mean, it only takes a few episodes of her being on the show, and she's deeply infatuated by him. So a lot of humor pops up from that, like especially in earlier episodes when she first meets him, she kind of had these moments where she'd get all freaked out, like, oh, I don't know if I could really imitate it, but it's like she would get all nervous around him and start acting like Mr. Mal, or something like that. She would be really nervous around him initially, but as things goes on, she gets more calm around him. Although occasionally she kind of breaks out into her nervous act, especially like one episode. It's a minor spoiler, a recent episode. I don't recall how it happened, but another character, Suzuno, she calls her and says something like, if I remember right, Chiyo, are you ready to enter a nuptial agreement with Mr. Mal? And I don't remember how. She kind of freaks out over and yells in the phone, Suzuno's ears, and Suzuno kind of ends up in this dazed state. I mean, it was pretty funny. And then you have Emmy. She's in NT Iswa. She's a hero. I don't remember what name she went under in NT Iswa, but in Earth she's called Emmy. Initially, she standoffish against Sadao, because back in NT Iswa she was fighting him and he was Seiden, and then he gradually softens, and he's not quite as set on conquering things like he was. He becomes more mellow, and he's enjoying his time on Earth. He doesn't have to worry about the hassles of trying to conquer NT Iswa anymore. He's more able to relax. So initially, she's all skeptical. Like she kept thinking like he's putting up an act to try to conquer the Earth, and over time she gets, she starts to see that he's changing, his views on things, and I mean, he still eventually plans to go back to NT Iswa, but he's not planning to conquer the human realm. In fact, he's kind of using it like his time there to kind of study like how how they go about their ways of life, and he's learning more about the human realm. It's kind of a formative experience for him and all the rest of them. Then you have I'm gonna name a couple more. You have Alciel. I don't remember what his name was back in the demon realm, but he's basically Sadao or Satan's trusted advisor, and he's kind of a cheapskate. Like, he gets all bent out of shape whenever he spends just a bit too much. Like, he's always trying to find things for the cheapest price, and he gets upset like in one episode where they end up getting all this I think it was ramen or something like that. Udon, that was udon, and it was about to expire, and he was forcing them all to eat it because it's like, oh, we can't waste it, we gotta eat this, all this up right away, and before it expires, and it got to a point eventually where it just got so bad, and he ended up eating it, and it was so bad to the point that it made Alciel sick, and he had to go to the hospital, but he just refused to spend the money on it, and he was stuck to a toilet for like days, and he eventually went to the hospital, much to its charge, and to get treatment for it. And then I guess I'll name one more. Of course, you have Rushihara, another principal cast member. He's kind of the hermit. He initially was an antagonist, and then he, Satan basically kicks his ass in the first season, and then he ends up joining up with them, and he ends up enjoying his newfound life on Earth as well. He took a liking to it. And he tends to be kind of hermit. He stays around it's basically the apartment, all day long, pretty much, on his computer. He doesn't really like to go out much. He kind of is a what's the word? Kind of agoraphobic. I mean, he does go out when he has to, but he tends to just stay in this kind of closet area. He kind of has this kind of converted closet. He hangs out in all day, and then you have running gags to him, like between him and LCL. Especially in the early season, they had this kind of iced tea pitcher, and he wouldn't always refill, and LCL would freak out over it, like whoever is the one who finishes the iced tea has to refill it, and they would get in arguments about that, and about him not throwing out old containers of ice cream that are mostly empty. He gets spats over that. And, well, anyway, and then there are other characters like I think her name was the McDonald's manager. I think her name was Susie. I don't remember it. She doesn't appear much on the show, especially in the second season. But she's the manager of the McDonald's there, and that's where also where Chiho and Sadao they both worked. That's where they met. They have situations there that contribute some humor, and not so much in the second season. They had a whole bank in the second season where it was going under renovation. They didn't really have any scenes there. It kind of popped up again later toward the end. So, like, they're putting in one of those cafes in. Like McDonald's has those coffee cafes. Like the updated look of it all, because and the first season started, but it was kind of the old-fashioned style McDonald's like they had back in 2013, and then because of the big lapse in production, they started doing a renovation on it toward the beginning of season 2. So they had other situations, like they went to a place in the sticks, kind of helped take care of this apartment up there, or building. I can't remember what it was. I think it was some restaurant or something for this woman up there who ended up being another Ente Eastwind as well. That was beginning of season 2. They had a few episodes there where they all had to take care of these demons up there. I won't share too much about it, but I guess it's inevitable there'll be some spoilers. I won't share too much about what happens up there, but that's like the first season pretty much sets things up. I think that's why I was so disappointed initially. That it basically sets up the events that happen later. Kind of a setup season for the most part. Like all the principal characters get together and they form their relationships, and Anyway, I'm glad they had another season because it just basically sets things up, and it was just such an abrupt ending. In fact, it was so long, I had forgotten. I ended up rewatching it. I hadn't seen the series in so long. When I was living at the time, they had it was on Netflix, and they had that. I didn't really have that for a while. Well, I saw it on Crunchyroll, but back then I saw it on Netflix, and I mean, I liked it overall, but I was so disappointed with how it ended initially. Before they had their season come out. Then they have other characters like there's a like more characters show up in season 2. I won't spoil any of them. They don't appear in season 1. Let's see what else. Should move on here. Like I said, I already talked about the humor. A lot of it's situational type humor, or running gags, and then some catchphrases. And you have I know the action scenes are pretty good. They don't happen often, but when they do, they're pretty good overall. Especially in season 1. I think I like the animation better in season 1, but like I said, the animation in season 2 is fine overall. It's nothing. It's fine. I mean, it gets the job done. It's nothing like like I've said in other videos, like Ufotable and A1 and Bugworks. It's not like that, but I mean, it gets the job done. It's fine. I've heard a lot of people complain about it. I don't really think it's that bad. I mean, I don't think it's like. I mean, it's not great like other ones, but I mean, it's fine. I mean, there are worse ones I've seen. Like a lot of people like to show, whatever that Cheats Go one, that one with a long name. I think the animation on that show looked pretty bad, but a lot of people seem to like that series. What they see in it, I don't really know. I don't like it. I'll have to review that one soon enough. I didn't get very far in it, but anyway, I mean, it's not like that. It's not. I can't really name any series offhand that have really bad animation, recent ones, but I mean, aside from that show, but I mean, it's fine. It seems kind of reminiscent of the Konosuba animation, actually, which I thought was fine as well. In the previous review, I said I thought the animation of that show was fine, not great, but again, they can't all compete with the best. But it's not bad either. I mean, like I said, animation and the action scene is pretty good overall. It's decent enough overall, but again, there are better studios, and just because those studios are so good, they kind of make a lot of these mid-range ones kind of pale in comparison. But anyway, this review is going a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll give it my score. It's about an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty enjoyable series. I mean, it doesn't really, it's more like a sitcom in the anime form. It doesn't really break any molds or anything. It's just a fun series to watch. It's kind of a fun ride to go through. I don't know, maybe I'll rewatch it again eventually when it's finished, but I mean, I wouldn't go in expecting anything deep. It's just kind of like a show like a sitcom, something like when they live in an apartment, like Friends or Seinfeld or Frasier or something like that. It's a little bit that type of when they have workplace type situations as well. Except the difference is these people are from different. Well, most of them are from a different world altogether, and it has those type of elements in it. So kind of go in expecting something like that. It's a nice, enjoyable sitcom with some otherworldly beings. And anyway, if you like those type of shows, like I said, like Seinfeld and Friends, Frasier, and like where they live in an apartment, they have workplace type situations, they'll probably like it. And let's see. So I'm going to end here. So yeah, like I said, I think it's pretty fun. I think anyone who likes this type of shows would like it. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review, and I will be back soon, like with more video reviews and live streams. And hope you could please leave a like and subscribe, and let people tell people about my channel, please. And I'm going to end here. So thanks for watching, and I will be back soon again.